Hi, my name is David Platt, and I am the senior pastor of the church at Brook Hills의 in Birmingham, Alabama, and author of Radical, Taking Back Your Faith from the American Dream with Multnomah. As a pastor of a large church in the United States, I'm convinced that somewhere along the way we have blindly, even unknowingly, embraced values and ideals that are common and celebrated in our culture, but in the end actually undercut and contradict the very gospel we claim to believe. We have taken a God-centered gospel and turned it into a man-centered, ultimately dissatisfying message. We have seen that which is radical in the New Testament and turned it into that which is comfortable in our context. And in the process, we've created Jesus to look a lot like us, nice, middle-class American Jesus who is comfortable with materialism and individualism and universalism, but in the process we lose sight of who Christ really is and what we were created to be as followers of Christ, especially in the world around us. When you think about a world where 4.5 billion people today are without Christ, and many of them have never even heard the gospel, in a world where every day 26,000 children are dying of either starvation or preventable disease. And Christ, in the middle of this world, calls us to radical abandonment to himself, to literally deny ourselves, take up a cross and follow him. What does that mean in 21st century American culture? What does it mean for us to literally risk it all for the sake of his glory in the world? And I think it means practical steps that every follower of Christ can begin to take to discover Christ for who he really is and to experience the global, God-centered purpose that he has for each one of us. And so the journey in this book involves really looking at who Christ is, what the gospel is, looking at the purpose for our lives that transcends the culture and the country that we live in, discovering that our meaning is found in community and that our lives are most satisfied when we're giving ourselves for the sake of others, most importantly for the sake of those who don't know Christ or for the sake of those who are poor, to discover that our safety and security ultimately are not found in having more stuff and more comfort in this world, but in living for another world. And discovering that, yes, the cost of discipleship, the cost of following Christ is great, but the cost of non-discipleship is even greater. The cost of manipulating Christ into a nice middle-class American Jesus is great for those who are without Christ today because they'll miss out on hearing the gospel from us. The cost is great for those who have no food today if we continue to spend our Christian lives and gather together in churches that are spending resources predominantly on ourselves. But the cost is great not just for those who are without Christ and those who are poor. The cost is great for us because we will miss out on the incredible satisfaction that is found in radical abandonment to Christ. And so the goal of this book is to lead readers to really think through, who is Jesus? What does it cost to follow him? And why would I want to sacrifice everything in my life to experience him for who he is according to Scripture, not for who we have created him to be in our culture?